In an August 12, 2025 post on his website titled, "The Legal Profession is Entering Its AI Reckoning," futurist Mike Walsh captured the rhetoric and attitude everyone seems to have adopted over the last year. Walsh writes the following, quote, "Innovation doesn't happen in the sandbox. If you're still quarantining AI experiments away from the real workflows, you're not innovating. You're delaying the inevitable. Put AI into production. Learn fast. Scale faster. Forget future-proofing. There's no such thing. The real skill is adaptability. Training leaders who are courageous in action, humble about what they don't know, and committed to doing the right thing even as the ground shifts beneath them. The legal profession has long prided itself on conservatism, but in today's environment, playing it safe may be the riskiest bet of all. The firms that thrive in the next decade won't just use AI, they'll be rebuilt around it. Our law firm has a policy. Every single person who works for us signs a commitment statement which states the following, quote, "I will not utilize, nor will I rely upon any version of artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT, or any other kind of automated writing or generative computer text in my written communications to clients, attorneys, members of the community, staff of the courts, or for any other thinking, writing, or communication on behalf of this law firm." Why do you think that is? First, I'm a realist, and I believe in adaptability. In the history of economics, there are always technologies and innovations that disrupt the market. When that happens, the entrepreneurs, business owners, boards of directors, and executives who adapt and are able to incorporate such technological changes and efficiencies into their business practices are the ones who are able not just to survive, but to thrive. Typically, the Luddites who refuse to adapt or refuse to learn about the latest changes in technology and how this reshapes the market, well, they go out of business. Is artificial intelligence an innovation that is going to change the market? Of course it is. It already has. There are all kinds of automation tools built into software and various AI programs that save time and increase efficiencies. Any business owner who cares about surviving and about increasing the quality of the services provided to clients is going to keep learning, keep adapting, and keep adopting technology that is necessary to stay competitive and serve clients well. So, we have a problem. Right now, almost everyone is very excited about generative AI and the large language models that can auto-generate writing, images, and videos. There are literally thousands of companies now trying to sell and market how AI can change your business. There is now conference after conference after conference being held by cutting-edge leaders in the industry all about how AI changes everything, about how to master AI, and about how to get the jump on your competition by using AI to get more customers and to generate more revenue more quickly. Scrolling through my LinkedIn feed last week, I scrolled through the following in just, I kid you not, 2 minutes. First, there was immediately a fellow named Ruben Hassid with a statement under his name, "Master AI before it masters you." And he says, "I hired a photographer for a professional headshot. Then I tried to recreate it with AI for $0. Okay, Mr. Hassid, I know where you're going with that, so let's just cut to the chase. The answer to what you were going to say is that yes, if you use AI-generated images for your business marketing, it actually does look and feel different from the real thing. And if every other business starts doing the exact same thing, it's going to be really boring." Second, scrolling just a little further, I was presented with an ad from a company called Steno declaring, Your AI policy could make or break a case. How to evaluate and implement AI that won't compromise your firm. Third, I next came to a post from Dr. Willem Lammers, who writes, "For those who want to write and publish, I write a lot of articles and books with the help of ChatGPT, and I learned how to do that the hard way." Dr. Lammers, I'll just stop you there. No, we are not interested in learning how to write with the help of ChatGPT the easy way instead of the hard way. I would respectfully submit that that is not, in fact, learning how to write at all. And none of us want to take the time to read any of the canned slop resulting therefrom. Fourth, then there was a Mr. Nick Coleman offering me AI-powered case prep for modern law firms. Fifth, there was a Miss Anisha Jain with the title, "How to Write Better with AI. How to Prompt ChatGPT for PowerPoint in 2 minutes. Step 1, go to ChatGPT and click Explore GPTs." Next, there was a post from a company called Future Proof, which asks, "How is your company really preparing for an AI-driven future? How will your roles evolve? Are managers trained to lead AI-enabled teams? Are you investing in judgment and systems thinking or just tools? Isn't this exciting? And why do I dissent?" Here's the problem. The AI bandwagon has been rushing forward without pausing to ask questions about limits. It is a fundamental principle of law that it is in limits that there is liberty. Lack of limits crushes liberty. There are industry leader AI creators who have stepped away from it for this very reason. They got scared because the rush to adopt AI for everything is not being checked by any rational analysis or thinking of what automation and auto-generation can and cannot really do or really replace. It's a cliche to say that just because you can doesn't mean you should, but it's also true. Right now, businesses and law firms are being sold software to arrange for AI to conduct their client intake, to conduct their client communication, to conduct their client billings, to conduct their researching and work for their clients, for lawyers to conduct their legal brief writing, and for lawyers to auto-generate their outlines for arguments and their questions in court. And businesses and law firms are purchasing this software, using it, and telling everyone else that if they don't do the same, they are going to be left behind. In the midst of all this enthusiasm and rush to adopt AI for everything, I have 5 promises to make to every single one of the clients of Penner and Purves. Promise number 1, we will never employ chatbots. We will never use AI to answer our phones or conduct any text exchanges with clients. When you call or text our law firm during business hours, you will always speak and interact with a real human being. One who is listening to you, cares about you, and who is motivated to provide you with support, understanding, and problem solving from the get-go. We will never delegate our personal interaction with our clients to an algorithm designed to work with you in a chat. Why not? Because we agree with Marc Barnes when he writes, quote, "I think chatbots are evil. I think they are evil insofar as they are designed to be operated not by commands or queries, but by acts of conversation. Such acts have as their end communion with another person. Since the chatbot is not in fact a person, chatbots frustrate our acts of conversation from attaining their natural end. Since it is wrong to deliberately frustrate an act from attaining its natural end, it is wrong to use a chatbot. Worse, to make it. This is another way of saying that it is wrong to create a fake person. Wrong to deliberately treat a machine as if it were a person. wrong to speak with it as with a being that listens and responds from out of a coherent interior center." End quote. So when every other law firm in the country covers their client communication processes with AI this and AI that because that is what everyone else is doing, our law firm simply won't. If you need to solve your legal problems by contacting and actually speaking with another human being, give us a call. Promise number 2. We will never use AI to communicate with any client, not in drafting letters or emails to clients, not in generating any writing at all. It's never going to happen. As an aside, if it does happen, it will be contrary to the procedures and commitment statements signed by every member of our firm, and the person who violates it will have their employment with our firm terminated. We will never use AI to do any of our writing for us. None. Not for texts, not for emails, not for letters, not for briefs, not for motions, not for pleadings, not for forms, not for any other kind of writing whatsoever. As another aside, AI writes poorly and will always write poorly written English prose unless it is just auto-generating the bullet point equivalent of a grocery shopping list. By way of an example, can AI understand or explain the true difference between the following lines? Option 1. Take but degree away. Untune that string and hark what discord follows. Each thing meets in mere pungency. The bounded waters would lift their bosoms higher than the shores and make a sop of all this solid globe. Option 2. Same words could be translated into modern AI English. Quote, "It's not just about you, it's about priorities. Experts agree that if you ignore the fact that rank plays a vital role in industry processes, we should highlight how that would really be like playing the instrument of society out of tune. The impact of doing that would certainly guarantee a disharmony. In summary, without this value added, everything would then fall out of place, ranging from systemic failure of environmental safeguards to even our having to face an apocalypse." Any thoughts? No. AI cannot understand why the first option has a clarity that the second option lacks. In fact, and to be clear, AI doesn't understand at all. Another example, document proofreading. We'll never use AI to do it for us. Only human beings proofread our writing at this law firm. Any errors we make will be our own, not errors caused by reliance upon AI. We'll take all the credit and we'll take all the blame for our writing without reliance on AI for any of it. Counter-argument. But AI can automate the sending out of letters to clients in a way that could save you and your staff hours of time. Reply. That's not an argument against what our law firm has decided to do and not do. Look, there is computer software that can do things like schedule a calendar date and a time by which a letter or a notification may then be emailed to another person's email. That's great. We've been using automation like that for years. It's efficient. But who cares? That kind of automation isn't what's got everyone now all excited about all the work AI can supposedly do for us. Sure, our law firm can have the automated sending out of letters. But the letters themselves, those have to be written by me or by other lawyers or legal professionals working here who know how to write in standard written English. AI will not write one single communication for our law firm. Promise number 3. We will never use AI-generated avatars on video to communicate, to educate, to teach, or to market on behalf of our law firm. We are going to keep producing content, There is a great deal of teaching about both trusts and estates and family law that is simply not being done. Regular, normal people are not being educated about their legal rights and opportunities. We intend to offer this education to the public so that people have access to good information about how to approach problems when you are hiring attorneys and trying to engage in acts of practical reasoning as to the law. We will develop the ways in which our law firm offers education to the public about both family law and trusts and estates in California. So, whenever you see a video of one of us created by our law firm, that video will really be one of us. Also, as an aside, we will never use AI to auto-generate things like professional headshots. If you see a photo of one of us on our website, it will be actually a photo of actually us. To the extent that we can, wherever possible in our public presence online, exclude and eliminate the slop and the fakery, we will exclude and eliminate the AI slop and fakery. Promise number 4. We will never use AI to conduct any of our legal research or any legal drafting for us. Lawyer after lawyer has been getting caught in court citing fake, non-existent court decisions that were hallucinated by the AI program that wrote the lawyer's brief for him. Too many lawyers are responding to these incidents, arguing against using AI for legal research and brief writing with the warning, you don't want AI hallucinating cases for you and getting you in trouble with the judge, do you? Stop making that argument. It's entirely besides the point. If citing fake cases is just the problem, then just fix that bug in the AI system that causes that to happen. Here's the real point. Using AI to do your legal writing for you makes you a dumb lawyer. And the reason for this isn't rocket science. It's because the reasoning, research, and thinking part of your brain is like a muscle. Neuroscience has confirmed this. If you don't use it, you lose it. The very act of thinking through the facts, apprehending and understanding the nuances of different legal arguments, and then applying the principles of law to the facts with precision, clarity, and in a compelling, organized way. The act of doing that strengthens and builds up the reasoning powers of your brain and neurologically wires your brain in a specific way. If you arrange for AI to do that for you, you will grow into a poor and shoddy reasoner who struggles to grasp all the sides of even a simple argument. As a legal professional, you need to do the work in order to really understand it. Just parroting what an algorithm gives you negates the entire reason you have a license to practice law. Don't be an idiot and rot your brain by using AI. This is the same principle that ought to be taught right now to every child in every school in the midst of this AI-using craze. Even as a practical matter, our law firm has blocked ChatGPT and all the other major AI generative websites, to the extent this is possible to do, on our law office computer system. We have a rule against referencing AI-generated answers to questions by anyone. If you are speaking to one of us over the phone, we will never be looking up the answer to your question on AI and then reading it back to you as if it were our own. We will either give you the answer to your question because with the time we have invested in studying and practicing the law, we have learned the answer by study and experience, or we will tell you we don't know the answer, but that we do know where to go to look it up, which we will do the real way and then get back to you. Lastly, and at first this may surprise you, promise number 5. We will never use AI for decision making at our firm, not in our cases and not in our estate planning creation. In fact, we put this promise in our engagement agreements. The lawyer working in our firm shall not use AI for drafting any legal documents, but additionally, the lawyer will not abdicate or delegate his or her responsibility to exercise the practical reason in order to make informed, educated judgments about the strategy, law, and procedure for a client's case. One of the reasons to pay for an attorney, instead of just searching the slop that's on the internet, is to take advantage of that lawyer's commitment and dedication to study of the law and practice of legal advocacy in trial and in the courtroom. That's how you maximize the chances of success in your particular legal problem solving. And just to clarify, I am not anti-technology. The invention and use of tools is a part of human nature. To the extent that AI or automation helps speed up shepherdizing a court case or conducting a word search in California Supreme Court decisions, that is a tool that I will use myself. Where we are drawing the line is between, number one, using any kind of AI as automation tools for speeding up a mindless logistical task, such as conducting a search for how many California court cases cite to the common law maxim of delegata potestas non potest delegari. And number two, using any kind of AI to treat a task that requires reasoning as if it were a mindless logistical task, such as auto-generating which legal rules or principles apply to a specific fact pattern. So contrary to what the futurists are now telling us, our law firm will not be outsourcing reasoning, decision-making, or strategy to probabilistic AI aggregators. This is the profession of law, not the profession of computer coding. Almost every single friend I've spoken to about this has told me I'm crazy, that my business will not be able to be competitive, that I am not keeping up with the biggest change in the market, and that essentially by refusing to use AI for these things, my law firm is doomed. Well, we'll see. I would respectfully submit that it is professionalism, competence, mastery, and adaptive systems that makes for a successful tight-run ship of a business or a law firm. And this does not mean that we surrender the quality of our work just because everybody else is doing it. So why are we, as a law firm, drawing the line and refusing to use AI for what seems to be the major uses everyone else is adopting it for? To provide a short but detailed answer, I would turn to philosopher D.C. Schindler, with whom I agree, and who wrote the following in the spring and summer 2025 issue of the New Polity Journal. Listen to his thinking here carefully. You should be discussing these questions with your family and with your friends, and we should all, as a community, be making decisions based upon a clear understanding about what we are being told we must accept. Schindler writes that AI is essentially duplicitous is entirely obvious. The Oxford English Dictionary defines AI as the capacity of computers or other machines to exhibit or simulate intelligent behavior. We call this technology artificial intelligence, in spite of the fact that the phrase is an oxymoron. Only a living thing can be intelligent, because only a being with an interiority, with an internal principle capable of gathering its many parts into a per se unity, which entails mediating the parts to each other so that they are intrinsically interdependent, can understand. When we speak of AI, we are attributing intelligence to an operation that has nothing at all to do with actually knowing. What does such usage imply for what we mean by the term intelligence, even, it must be said, in our own case? When I said above that duplicity is the essence of AI, this is just what I had in mind, the essence of this artifact, The very purpose for which it was made is to pretend to intelligence without being intelligent, and to pass off this pretense as good enough to justify its replacement of the real thing, compensating perhaps by accomplishing its partial tasks in a superhuman sort of way, because a real thing can never be as effectively instrumentalized as its ersatz. Thus, duplicity is not just one possible use of the technology which we might try to devise ways of minimizing or even avoiding. AI cannot be used at all without a kind of concession to duplicity. This concession, let me stress, is built into the thing, and is not just a kind of trap that some people fall into but the savvy can avoid. This means allowing an ultimate horizon to be set by the merely functional. Language has become the production of something other than intelligence, something other than the capacity to grasp the form of a thing, to behold it, and to contemplate it within one's interior space, oneself. Language, from the classical perspective, is the communication of truth. In the age of AI, it is something more like the processing of information and the production of behavior. It is crucial to see that this transformation of the nature of language reaches beyond only the words directly produced by AI. Insofar as those productions are treated as words, as intelligible utterances, it means that we have come to reinterpret the nature of all words, no matter their source, in order to be able to accommodate what comes out of these machines. To speak of large language models is already to change the nature of language universally. A word, generically, is now a conveyor of information ordered not to the manifestation of reality, which is how Plato defined it, but to the effecting of some attitude or behavior, and we then go on to specify an instance of this genus as either human or computer generated. One of the practical implications of this transformation is that the very medium of communication is being severed, both from any actual reality and from any actual human being, which is to say, from any essentially truth-oriented subject. We are just at the beginning of a new age in which we can never trust anything we see or hear. Is the image on the web page, the video clip on YouTube, the voice I hear on the phone, the text I'm reading, something real or something just a semblance? As we have seen, it is impossible to use AI without projecting intelligence into it, without treating it as if it were something like a person. The problem with this lies not in its being something like, but in its substituting itself for the reality it imitates. The profession of law is an ancient one with a long-standing tradition, and it is at its best grounded in truths about human nature, justice, the limits upon abuse of power, and checks upon exercises of purported absolute power. Even when the legal system is not at its best, and it has broken gears and slow wheels, it still provides a forum where the smaller person and the less powerful are entitled to the same procedure and the same rights as everyone else. As lawyers and legal professionals, I, for one, refuse to provide my clients with a substitute instead of the real thing. Here at Penner and Purves, we want our clients to be able to trust everything they see and hear from us. We will not ask any of our clients to play mental games with themselves by committing the act of intake or follow-up with ChatBots, or by having to rationalize learning or being advised by a thing that we are substituting for the reality of true legal counsel with all the protections and privileges that implies by law. We will absolutely not serve as merely the mouthpieces of any artificially generated language, if you can even call it that, aggregated by what are being called large language models, not when anyone here is speaking to you either by phone or by internet, and not when any one of our lawyers are arguing for you in court. So, in response to the futurist techtopians like Mr. Walsh, I would make 3 suggestions. Number 1, neither mere innovation and speed among the ordering of various goods are among the most important goods. Both certainly have their utility, but not every profession should be rebuilt around them. Number 2, just because a super robot aggregator can use an algorithm to apply probabilistic predictions, something like computer coding, doesn't mean it can do the same for things like language, writing, or reasoning. To think you can reduce everything to aggregations of data is to have a reductionist worldview. To think that can produce writing or communication is not to understand what writing or communication is. Number 3, being adaptable and humble does not require rushing to accept every new technological revolution that we are all immediately told is inevitable. If you think refusing to join in the headlong rush to arrange for AI to run every part of human life is the same thing as playing it safe, you are working off a set of philosophical assumptions that you have not yet justified. On the contrary, drawing boundaries and refusing to run along with everyone else is often the harder and more difficult choice. If you would prefer a lawyer who is enamored with AI, even if he or she is putting ethical safeguards in place to avoid citing AI hallucinated cases in court, go right ahead and hire one of those. If you would prefer a law firm whose staff and lawyers just regurgitate what they have arranged for AI to research, write, and outline for them in order to provide you with legal advice, then again, it'll be rather easy for you to find one of those. However, if, whether it is now or in the years and decades ahead, you decide you want to hire lawyers and work with legal professionals who do not rely upon AI to do any of their thinking or writing or work for them, know that the law firm of Penner and Purves is committed to being one of those, even if we remain one of the only firms doing that, and even if it means that we make less money for our work. Thank you for listening. Perhaps by publicly making these commitments, we can at least encourage a few others to do the same.